Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and today we're going to talk about, I got my bookmark in here, about government contracting. So, if you ever wanted to scale your business in a way that won't cost you your sanity or your time working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, you want to listen to this podcast, this show with Dr. Karwanna D. Irving. She's on the cover of Speakers Magazine the month of February and just had a fabulous event that was in Dallas, just really getting back on the thing. But it was so life-changing for me personally, just hearing this, that I wanted to share with speakers who are trying to figure out how they can make this thing work. They have a gift of speaking, they have a gift of coaching, training, but I just talked to someone just recently and they said, I don't even know that there was a thing as government contracting for speakers. So we're going to bring Kawana up and we're going to really talk about this because it's like the best kept secret. But listen, uh, Dr. Kawana is not keeping it a secret anymore. She put in the book, she's doing an event. So you want to make sure that you listen up and listen to this. So I'll bring her up right after this. Okay, girl. All right. This thing was on fire.
Yes.
I'm like, first of all, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your event was amazing. It was amazing. When I say that the gems you dropped, you were all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If we go out, because my internet is acting crazy, you keep going, okay? Because I want you to explain to people what it is that has helped you really scale your business to multiple millions of dollars using government contracting, and how a speaker, just a speaker that uses their gift of speaking, they think like, oh, I just need to grab a mic and go on stage. No, you are sharing the gems about how they can do that. We had you on a couple of weeks ago with Black Speakers Network, and you kind of gave your backstory about how you got into that. But let's jump right into, I won't say sam.gov, but because that's just like really over the head. But what are some of the contracts that you know of for sure that speakers can go for, whether it's federal, local, or state, that they can do once they actually get the coaching or really get the information? Because you put a lot of the information in your book as well.
Absolutely. There's a lot. I mean, so I think the biggest mistake that most speakers make is they forget that they're an expert. And there's an expertise topic that they're speaking on, right? And so whatever that topic is that you're speaking on, whether it's personal professional development or teaching people how to start a business or whatever it is, you're teaching from an expert position, right? And so that service, that skill set, you can actually sell to the government. So I've personally seen a lot of contracting opportunities for speakers. Some of them are just like motivational speaking. Some are like diversity, equity, and inclusion speaking as well, right? Believe it or not, even with all the things that are crazy going on right now. But they may not call it that. But at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? So all they're doing is rewrapping it with a new name, just like they rewrapped it when it was affirmative action, they rewrapped it with DEI, right? So they're continuing to have these conversations, and they're always bringing in and looking for experts to come in and train their, the trainers, right, on how to help people culturally fix and mix inside the organizations. And so there are so many different opportunities. I've actually seen a contracting opportunity for a speaker who have been like an ex-felon. Like, this is for women. This is for women speaking opportunities to go into the women's prisons institution and motivate the women that are getting ready to re-enter into society.
Oh my God.
Motivating them on things to look for, how things have changed, and how did you do it, like during your re-entry, those types of things. So there's opportunities that are wide open. Yes.
So you have been, besides being my client, PR client, you've been in all different media things, winning all kind of awards, Success Magazine, CNBC, I'm putting that out there. That's an award as well. But you opened my eyes, And I want to say to any speaker out there that this is something that I did before I came to Dallas, right? So we've been working together and I knew all the information. So I went in on one particular site, I think it was for public schools. And I told you that I went on their site and I saw someone who was an author, who had a book, who was doing an after school program, and they got a $500,000 contract to do after school program based on their book.
Yeah.
And then you talked about the cash flow quadrant, the game, and I said that's very similar to what someone could teach financial literacy to schools, school districts, right? And that's a RFP. That is something what they would request, or you put together a proposal for. And so the elephant in the room for me is a lot of speakers are quote unquote creative. They don't feel like they have all the stuff together, that they just want to go out there and I just want to motivate and speak. What are some of the skill sets, if they want to scale to multiple millions of dollars, the things that they need? A, B, and C. I know one is certifications, but even with certifications, requires certain things. So give them a little bit, not as hard as people think, because I did it when I was in Dallas, right?
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, I want to say kudos to you, because most people, like, they wait forever and they procrastinate and they just never get to it. You know, they're always getting ready to get ready. But these are opportunities that are out there that you can take advantage of right now if you're properly positioned and registered in the system. So in one day, same day, you went and did your application while we were at Winning Government Contracts Live. I'm like, hey, well, I'm going to walk you through the hardest part that most people won't do. And you became federally certified and active. So as of like that day, you can actually bid on contracts. And so,
and I have. Listen, I got that on Monday and I was.
See, she ain't playing, y'all. She on her way to her 7-figure, 8-figure part. Like,
how to say, the scales fell off my eyes. Okay. Can I just say the scales fell off my eyes? And I was like, Karwanna is like, she is the evangelist. And I felt like I just got saved. Okay.
It is there. It is there. I mean, and so basically there are some basic things, of course, you have to have. You have to be a legitimate business. You must have your EIN, your articles of organization. That's if you're an LLC. If you're a sole proprietorship, then you still have to have a DUNS number. You have to have, taxes done, be compliant. So just the basic things that makes you a credible business. Like, these are the same basic documentation that allows you to qualify for grants and for loans and business funding anyway. So if you're in business, like, why not go the extra mile to make sure like all of your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, so that you can qualify for these things? Because when you do that, you're able now to position yourself in front of a premium buyer. We're not talking about people who play with money. We're not talking about people who do chargebacks. We're not talking about, people who want to put you on a shoestring budget. We're talking about people who have the entity, the number one biggest purchaser of products and services in the world, that want to buy from you as a small business entrepreneur. So you have to appear as someone who's credible and worthy, and that you're of quality for the quality type of check that they're going to write for you. And so if you can do that and then get through the process of becoming certified, like, and I do want to express that having the certifications does not get you contracts, but it does make it easier for you to have something to leverage. Because there are larger firms that are out there, larger corporations, and even like contractors, prime contractors that are out there that must utilize diverse subcontractors. So having that certification is like, I call it having your golden ticket, right? It allows you to say, hey, I'm that diverse subcontractor that you can use and pay me a little piece to do my particular scope so that you can get the contract. And so it's just, you have to position yourself to, participate however you can. There will be opportunities for you to prime on contracts. There will be opportunities for you to sub on contracts. There will also be opportunities for you to partner for contracting opportunities for capacity building. And then there will be opportunities for you to just be the pass-through entity. You will see things on there that you may not do, but somebody who can do it. And so it's like, we share the wealth, and you can actually win more contracts by sharing the wealth.
I'll give you an example of two things that you said. One was, you showed us at the event different codes, NASCII codes, I believe it was,
Yep.
NASCII codes. So I looked up those codes, and then within those codes, I looked up other PR agencies, and they are large, what I call majority owned firms, right? But they needed to have subcontractors
Yep.
that were
Small.
women owned and minority owned.
Yep.
That would be me. And so
Yes.
for the first time I ever saw that, I think it was only 10 for that whole system that you
Yes.
showed us. It was only 10, but they got like defense contracts and I
Yep.
mean just multiple millions of dollars. But
Mhm.
they're looking for
Mhm.
us.
Yep.
I'm like, "Oh my God, this is it." The other thing is I went to my city of Detroit, just at this point, remember, because I'm not doing I haven't done the other part yet, but this was just a Monday,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
today is just Wednesday. So I looked at there was a contract for printing, and they were printing thousands of envelopes for the election committee.
Yep. And that's
And
something that you
so
can
we
do.
can partner
Yep.
with
And print.
another printer that
Yep.
prints
Yeah.
Speakers Magazine
Yeah.
and do that contract. And I
Yep.
was like, "Oh my God, it was
You see it.
here the whole time." Now, the deadlines come up and you've got to have certain things in order.
Yep.
You've got to have it what you just said. You can't do it like the day of. You want to do it at least 2 days before, that kind of thing,
Yep.
when you're submitting the bids. But I saw it for uh
Hey,
Tapita
Tabitha.
Smith says, "I love it." Yes, and then also too, she says, "Awesomeness." That yes, she really is. She
Hey,
showed us the
Sabrina.
way. She showed us the way, and
Yes.
so it was live. It was actually live for 3 days, and we spent time with you. When I say you laid it out, the audio, video, everything was just excellent, superb, down to the napkins. Okay, will I say that? I don't know why I was impressed with the napkins, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, she does the govconchallenge.com, and you can do that with her online, no matter where you are as well. But you do want to get her book, start there. She put all the information in the book. We always say that the place where people hide secrets is in the book.
Book.
We're not going to hide them in the book. We're going to tell you about the book, and you can go get on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then also, too, when you have your other events and your other book. So they want to go to the GovCon Challenge so they can get on your list and really stay
Yes.
connected. Because when I tell you, I knew Karwanna was a bad, okay? But when I saw her in person, I was like, she's really bad. I mean, she just took that pen and she was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Boop, 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 boop. I was like, is everybody paying attention to this?
Yeah.
This is how she does it. And so there are so many things, joint ventures that people can do. There's local, federal, state. And you said the lowest place of really doing things is like business to
B2C,
the
business
consumer.
to consumer.
Okay.
That's like the lowest value. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Only
Lowest
because
value.
it's only because your business is most at risk when you're doing business B2C. And that is the business model that where it takes the longest for you to really grow. And you have to pump a lot of money into marketing in order to really reach the masses. And so as you climb that value ladder from business to consumer to business to business to business to corporate, the top of the value that you can offer is business to government. They have all the money because they create the
Yes.
money, they print the money, right? And
Yes.
so this is how you actually can have 10 years worth of revenue in one single contract. In 1 year, you can actually go from a $200,000 business generating $200,000 a year to over 2 point something million in a year or less, just by doing business with the highest player. And so it's like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So when they talk about, hey, Edna, hi, Edna, she was at the event too. So we're talking about like, it's going to take 2 to 5 years to grow a business. They're talking about doing that on a B2C level. And in that case, you're absolutely right. But if you start a business today and you have your ducks in order, your paperwork, your documentation, and you go get registered in sam.gov, which takes about 7 to 10 business days, and you start the process, the journey to your state and local certifications, it will take maybe 90 days. You can win your first contract in 90 days to 6 months. And that first contract could be 100,000, it could be $250,000, or it could be more, depending on what you're bidding on, right? And so the average contract awarded annually to a single small business is over 2.7 million. And so people have been sleeping for so many different reasons. I don't know why. It's just like I'm starting to learn a lot, Pam. Like I feel like we've all been so programmed. It's like we are really waking up from the Matrix in real life. I mean, I saw the movie The Matrix years ago, but the Matrix is real. People are programmed. They're programmed to say yes to certain things that doesn't make sense and say no to the things that makes the most sense. And it's like we're living backwards.
Right. It is. And I found that for those speakers that you will find that a lot of people are like, I'm a women empowerment speaker, or I'm a leadership speaker, or I speak, they're doing, and it's like, I can only do that. But what you try to do is really say you're a problem solver.
Yes.
And what problem is it that you see? And then go after that contract with maybe someone else. So like I said, the contract that I saw with the city was that they were looking for printers, but I know of a printer that I work with, and they can print those envelopes for the election. Because you stuff the little, the little thing and stuff. Yeah. They need somebody to print that.
And that could potentially be at least a 6-figure contract for you. And so that's the thing, when people are leaving money on the table, is like, remember, so you're like in PR, public relations. And when you identify your NAIS code for public relations, you got to remember all the things that PR agencies do. They print. That's another code, right? They do graphics. That's another code. All that stuff. They publish books and magazines.
I wonder
all of that.
Yes.
They do copywriting. All of that those are additional things that you can sell to the government. It's like extracting the actual skill set and selling that to the government. So it's crazy to see you like see it all. It's crazy to see like you like, the scales have been peeled back. I can see this in just plain color. So now you see there are really opportunities that are out there, but sometimes people are just blinded, they really are.
So this is the thing that so it's almost like the scales have been pulled back, and then you feel like, oh my God, Karwanna was really speaking the truth. It is for me, not just as the publicist that just works with speakers and authors. I started to feel a certain way about my speakers and authors. I was like, you know what? I'm about to get these government contracts. Y'all need to move to the back. I was like, I don't want to feel mean, but it's like, you all don't understand that there is probably more money and less work at the top of the food chain of B to G than it is B to C. And so when you have someone that has that whole like mindset shift, because that's what you really talked about too, was a lot of mindset. When you have someone that has that whole mindset shift, it just makes you walk a certain way, function a certain way, behave a certain way, look at things differently. And even if you are a wellness expert, say you're a wellness expert and you want to help people holistically, there is a place with a government contract, whether it is federal, local, or state, school, definitely in schools. If you're a mindfulness expert, there is an RFP for you. You just have to know how to package it, position it, price it. What's my other P?
Partner.
You see,
propose.
I'm trying to act like I'm getting the check. Right?
You got
propose.
It.
You said that part. Propose. You says we can download the proposal, fill it out, and to hit the send button.
Yeah, just send it. Right.
Just send it.
There's only 2 things that can come out of that: yes or no. That's it. Yes or no. And at some point, those no's are going to turn into yeses. And when they turn into yeses, that's going to transform your life. When you land your first contract, it's going to make you a real believer that you can do it again and again and again. And it's really not only going to infuse a lot of cash flow into your business, but into your legacy. So this is the way, y'all. This is the way that I've seen people transform their lives. Like we have helped over the past couple years, small business entrepreneurs who were not even making maybe 100,000, barely at 100,000, become multi 7-figure bosses, and they're like firing their bosses, and they're walking away from their traditional jobs, and they're doing this full time. And even doing it full time, if you do this less than part time, like 5 hours a week, that's about 20 hours a month, you can actually walk away multiple 6 figures and even potentially 7 figures with focus, right?
There is there was a person that was gave their testimony of working with you, the gentleman,
Remy.
Remy.
Yeah, Remy.
And Remy, just really just we're gonna connect and have him on the podcast as well. But he really was a person that was started with nothing and it's multiple figures, right?
Yep.
And it's not it's the fact that I haven't won a contract yet, but everything seems to be pointing to this is the way to go, kind of like the way Remy said, it's like you needed that sign.
Yep.
So there are two good friends of mine that work in the government, local government, that are head of communications. Head of communications. For years, I did not really understand that I probably could have bid on some of the work that they had been bidding out.
Yeah.
Because they work as community relations directors for major cities.
Right.
And I'm just like, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So then there was something I think you did and you showed us on the screen, and I followed the rabbit trail. It was in Milwaukee, and my cousin has a printing company in Milwaukee. And I just told her, I'm kind of like you, excited about government contracting and what the opportunity is for our people. And she says, I just hired someone to come in the last couple of weeks ago to research government contracts for her in particular. And she says, and what I am going to do is pay him whatever that contract is, 50%. So she's not paying him outright.
Yeah.
But she's paying him to research and pull it together. She will do the work, but he's doing the work to find the work.
Yeah. Got it.
And I said, that was just 2 weeks ago. I said, okay, there's another sign.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, how do you find them? I mean, it's based on the code, but you can also do the reverse engineering and see what other things have been awarded, because it's all there. What other things have been awarded?
Information. Yeah, it's all public information. I think you showed me at the event, like right when we were talking about all this stuff, a friend of yours had texted you. Was it the mugs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, how just crazy, right? While people are distracted talking about what Donald Trump and Elon Musk is talking about in the White House, the DEI and the minority thing is going away. They're taking their mind off the real focus. The real focus is small business owners are about to come up. The ones who are in position,
yes,
this is your payday. Like, this is the biggest opportunity. But if you are distracted, you will miss out. If you are distracted by that, you're going to miss out. And while we were at the event, you're like, look, my friend just won a contract, or somebody texted you that somebody was awarded a contract for 50 mugs. Anybody can do that. You don't have to own the mug, make the mug, manufacture the mug, do the graph. You could go to Printify, right?
You go to Vistaprint.
Vistaprint, and just outsource the work. Like, these are like low hanging opportunities, and and for 50 mugs, I mean, they probably made about 30, 40,000 or something like that. Yeah. I don't know how much they made, but easily that could have been like a $30,000, $40,000 contract.
And the thing that I like that you do is that you really, it's part of your testimony. You know, you come from a family of 7. You're the first one in your family to go to college. You spent many years just really trying to, hand them out, trying to make it work. And then when someone showed you or told you about the opportunity, you ran with it. And then once you really start, been not doing this like a year, but a couple of decades, you says, I need to tell other people about this opportunity, because you see all the different speakers, coaches, authors are just struggling. I mean, even the one thing that I told you, the lady that had the one book who talked about how to make your bed has a $500,000 contract with the school system to teach kids about the habit.
And that's crazy, because you have books. There's so many authors that are out there that have books. And again, being an author and having an expertise that you put in that book could actually lead to lucrative government contracts. So you got to know who can you serve with that expertise. And so there are people that are waking up. I also have friends and colleagues that have a book, and they're doing business like with the local schools, which is a government agency. Those are government entities that use that, like the senior housing, organizations, and those are people who need your expertise. And so you can turn your expertise into a profitable business if you know how to position yourself.
And then what you also too is you tell people how to win the contracts and then how to scale. You talk about the other areas too, about in terms of keeping the money, in terms of really how to structure certain things. So it's not just when you're going to work with Karwanna, and I'm sure that if you're going to work with her, she will not just teach you how to get the contract, how to set up, how to position and price, but also to how to prepare for legacy in terms of all the other things as well, just in
Yeah.
terms of wealth. So she's a wealth builder. She's making millionaires. Uh, and if you can take it, you can make it. That's the way it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. You said something about. She says, "Oh, this isn't like the gooey fun part. You know, people don't like to do this, but this is a part that makes the multiple millions of dollars.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And this is a part. If you can take it, you can make it. A lot of times,
Yep.
people just like, oh, I just want to get on TikTok, and I just want to, you know."
Do something easy.
Do something easy or something that just feeds the ego, but not really feeding the bank account. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the part that
Yeah.
really the thing. And the thing of it is that even though I haven't won a contract yet, it's
Mm-hmm.
coming. I went through and I saw other agencies that I know people who are in those agencies that they won contracts. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And you just started like literally 3 days ago.
Yes, I'm about to get them. I am about to get them because
you're like, already on the fast track to winning.
And it's not like them. There's so much there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait till you win your first contract because I know you're going to tell everybody about it.
Yes, sure. I am. There's one person here. They said that I was going to do subcontracting. I won't put their name up here. It says, but I heard you can get into a lot of trouble of doing it. I don't know. That's why you would hire someone like Dr. Karwanna to guide you through it so you won't get in trouble.
Who is that? What does the name say? Because I can't see.
Wu-Tang.
So hearing is believing, right? It's like you gotta watch who you listening to because I subcontract all day, right? I subcontract all day as a subcontractor, but I also sub out work. And so the only way to get in trouble subcontracting is if you do something that breaks the contract, right? So say for instance, there's a contract that you've been awarded and it specifically says 10% of the contract must be self-performed in-house. The other 90% you can outsource as long as you paying yourself at least 10%. So whenever there are specific rules, you just have to follow the rules. But there are people who are 100% they're subbing out. But in order for you to make money, you have to be paying yourself anyway. There's no such, it doesn't make any sense to sub out 100% of a contract anyway, right? So it's like you're doing 20-80, 60-40, whatever it is. But if there's a stipulation in that contract where you have to abide by a certain percentage in-house, then you just have to follow that. If you can follow the rules, you can sub out contracts all day. There are people, that's all they do. They get paid to hire other people. That's what they do. Other people are doing the work. They're landing contracts and they're paying them their part and they're keeping their part. So that's a play. That's a play that you can do. So don't think about what other people are saying, the naysayers. These are usually the people that are not doing it anyway, not doing it already. What do you say? What have you tried? Have you done it? Right? I remember like there were so many years where people say, you can't do this, you can't do that. I was always that person to be like, watch me. I will go a back way, a back route, or a back door. I'll find a way to make it happen. And so you got to be that person that push through all the noise. This is why I say a lot of people just get distracted and then they do nothing. So it's just like, if you want to give yourself a chance, you have to at least do it, right? Learn, get paid to learn, right? It's what they're going to do, put you in handcuffs because you made a mistake? No, they're not. They're just going to be like, hey, you were supposed to keep 10% of this contract or whatever, but just do it anyway.
So I encourage everyone, if you don't have this book, to get the book. Some of the tips you learn in the book include how much the government spends on products and services, how the various small business programs have guaranteed budgets, and how to unlock millions of dollars in business opportunities, and then how to land large, multiple six-figure contracts with no experience. Okay. And these are some of the small things, but also too, she talks a lot about mindset because you can't go by, oh, I heard that, I heard this. No, go and figure it out. Go and ask an expert, someone who's done it more than a year, someone who's done it and not just watch YouTube videos, but someone who's actually doing the thing.
Right.
And that's really, really like the main thing. I want people to really understand, register with the agencies, how to position yourself. My next step is really to do the certifications, Karwanna. That's
Mhm.
part of it as well. And one of the key persons, I guess, in your business, if you're going to scale, that I know that a speaker will need is someone who's a really good accountant, bookkeeper, financial person, someone who can help them with their numbers, because those numbers are going to be needed for certifications, and their numbers are just going to be period. So a lot of speakers like, oh, I don't worry about the numbers. I get the check and
Oh, you got to know.
I'm
You got to
good.
know your numbers. Yeah, you have to know your numbers. Like, usually people know their numbers by whatever they put on their taxes. But either way, you have to have an account of how much money your business has generated, and they know if you did it, if you're lying or not. They know. So you do have to have an account. So for every level of business, when you become a six-figure earner, there are certain things that you need to have as a six-figure earner. When you become a seven-figure earner, it opens up new problems,
Mhm.
millionaire problems, that you have to have certain coaches and mentors and consultants that are working for you on the seven-figure level. When you become an eight-figure level, continue, right? You're going to continue to always need a group or community of people that's going to help you with where you are, right? And everybody doesn't need the same thing at the same time, which is why I talk about general the wheels of wealth, right? There's more to creating wealth than just making the money. You have to know how to have tax strategies in place to maintain the money. You have to have investment strategies in place to multiply the money and safeguard it. But you also have to have leverage to access money when you don't have it personally. So that's where the business credit and the personal credit comes into play. But you also have to have something fueling your business. That's where the government contracting opportunities come in, because that gives you a cash influx. It all works together. And so, depending on where you are in your business, you may have one wheel, two wheels, but when you have four wheels, now you have built a machine that helps you to create generational wealth for generations to come.
I love that. So before we leave, GovCon Challenge, when's the next one coming up?
Yeah, the next one is actually in about 2 to 3 weeks. So make sure that
Okay.
you go to govconchallenge.com, tap in. This is our next 5-day challenge where we're spending about 90 minutes a day helping those who are just getting started. Now, this works best for six-figure earners. This works best for people who are already have money momentum. You're making at least six figures, right? And what it does is it helps you position yourself to know how to best position yourself to land these lucrative government contracts, how much money is on the table, how much you have to know and what you have to do. So this is like the beginning, right,
Mhm.
to getting started, because no one can just jump in and start making seven figures. You have to understand that there are levels to the game. We
Yeah.
get you through level one, and then once level one is over, we offer to work with you through level two, which is getting to the money. So I will highly recommend this for anyone that's just getting started. In fact, in order for anyone to work with me personally in my group coaching program, this is a prerequisite. So we all, because we're highly, selective of who we work with. I know if you go through this 5-day challenge that you are fundable, like you are ready to go to
Yeah,
the next level. And so
that is good.
govconchallenge.com, the next one is coming up in like 2 to 3 weeks. So get registered. I'm going to see you in the room. Look, it's time to roll up your sleeves. Let's get to work. We can do
That is
this.
it. That is it. And then you'll have some other ones. You'll be touring sometime
Yep.
through the rest of the year. So if they basically they want to speak with you, what's the
Uh-huh.
best social media platform for them to follow you? Because you do a lot. Is it YouTube?
I'm on YouTube, Karwanna
Yeah, her
D.
YouTube is on fire, let me tell you. So you do want to watch her YouTube. They are fire. I think she got like, I don't know, like 100,000 people on the
It's
YouTube
probably
thing.
more like 40,000, I believe, so far. I think 40,000 and
Yes,
growing.
yes. It
But
is.
between all of my platforms, there's like over 100,000. So
Yes.
there's Instagram. We're on Instagram under Karwanna D Speaks, and then Facebook, and then YouTube, and then we kind of have a little footprint on TikTok, but I don't really be on TikTok. Those are for the kids,
Yeah,
but it's good. TikTok is
TikTok is
cool.
it's okay.
It's high,
Yeah,
but I know, like,
yeah.
for
But
serious
YouTube
people,
is the
yeah,
place.
YouTube is where you can get a lot of content. Yes, and value for sure.
Yes, yes, yeah, that is good. So thank you so much for joining Speakers Magazine, being on the cover. Go to speakersmagazine.com, read her full story in there as well. Join the challenge. You want to make sure that you do that and stay connected. You know, this is the truth. Get the book. That's the main thing. Get the book so that you kind of have the primer, I guess you would say. So take it in steps. I don't want people to feel overwhelmed. Take it in steps. Get the book, take the challenge, follow her on YouTube, listen to her, and watch the checks come. Okay, get that bag. So that's the thing I'm talking about. So I'm really, she's the evangelist. She's telling people she's a government contract whisperer, but she's whispering loud. Hopefully you're listening and getting those contracts. So thank you so much for joining us today. That is so good. There's her Instagram right there, and then the Facebook there as well. And Margie, love you too. Love you too. All righty. So that is good. Yeah. So that's one of the all right. So we will talk to you guys later. Make sure you go to speakersmagazine.com. Download the issue. You can download it for free. Read all about it in there. And then also too, just know that you can read the videos are embedded in the magazine as well. So you want to make sure that you do that. So we try to do all the things. So thank you so much for joining us. Talk to you later. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.